future AI overlords. Thought we'd have some fun today with googlebard and movies. I love movies, like way too much I love movies. But I love science fiction, is one of my favorite genres. Also, when I indexed all my movies, I found that I'm a huge rom-com fan, like way more than I ever thought. I thought science fiction would blow it away, but nope. Anyway, so I went into Bard and I want to show you how to build a table, but with something fun and interesting like movies. So I asked it to initially create a list of popular movies about artificial intelligence. So it created the list of movies, which is great. Even has pictures, Bard is great. Then I asked it to convert that list, and I said, create this list in a table. And so now it has the movie title, the year, the poster, the genre. And so I converted that list into a table, which is, can be better to display information. Then I asked it to add a plot summary, which it did here. So added another column and added the plot summary. And then I also added it to said, oh, add a worldwide box office gross so we can see how much these movies made. And so it added that column as well. And then I said, add Rotten Tomato score. Let's see what people think about this film. And so it added that Rotten Tomato score here as another column in the table. And so basically, I asked a simple question to create a list of movies about artificial intelligence. I asked it to add to convert that list into a table. And then it basically thought, let's add some more columns to that. And it went and did it dynamically. And I have to say, this feature I use all the time. It is so powerful. But now we've got this great list of movies about artificial intelligence. The Terminator, 1984. This is one of those movies that when people think about AI and they're scared of it, it is totally the Terminator comes to mind. Like that is the thing, and I think I think that this movie is so in our psyche about the rise of the machines and all that. It's a testament to Hollywood's ability to create science fiction that's compelling, and then for technology to catch up, and like bam, you've got this great sort of like villain and concept and fear like embedded in the psyche. But anyway, so the Terminator films and Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the great films. I really like them a lot. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, even did a quote recently talking about AI. I was a little surprised by it. Basically he's saying that these movies have become real now, and we should all be. So I was I don't know, it's an interesting it's an interesting thought, but this is Hollywood, and but it inspires, Hollywood inspires so much science fiction, concepts for us to reach for. Anyway, so next film, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, this came out in 1968. I saw this when I was really young, on like HBO or something, and it kind of freaked me out. I didn't understand really what was happening. I was too young. My parents were watching. I probably shouldn't have been watching it. But anyway, I remember it being a cool science fiction film, but I also just remember the computer just basically, challenging the human, astronaut. So it's an interesting film. I probably should watch again as an adult now, to understand it a little bit more deeply. But I remember it left me with this sort of creepy feeling about technology just choosing to do something different, which is kind of like the Terminator thing again. Blade Runner. Now that is a great film. Another dystopian future. You've got these bioengineered androids. So these AIs that have become so human, they feel human, they're hard to identify. It's a really, I remember seeing that film just being like blown away. It was so incredible. And I do have to say, Blade Runner 2049, which is right below it. That was really like fantastic. I loved it. It was like they brought the concept into a more modern, kind of look at it. The original look and feel I thought was amazing, but I kind of liked what they did with the modern. They still harken back to the original, but but Blade Runner 2049 I just thought was great. And Harrison Ford is just, he's just like amazing. So let's look at this. So her. Now it didn't draw the image there, so I'm not sure if it's just an issue of grabbing that image from that source. Because it looks like images from Amazon and IMDb are showing up fine. But I remember, yeah, the movie Her. So yeah, and that's a romantic comedy. And I remember, I believe Scarlett Johansson plays the voice of the AI, Samantha. And I found this one to be just a beautiful story. And I really loved how Scarlett Johansson made the character, the AI character, so real, yet you could, an AI that is very real, which, like literally should have gotten some kind of Oscar for that because it was really amazing. I guess there's rules about who gets Oscars in films and, and stuff like that. But anyway, I thought this was an incredible concept. Lonely writer falls in love with basically an AI. And, we're kind of having that happen now. I know that people are, becoming, I've tried Replica AI when that first came out and it was cool, but some people are really, really into it. And I can see how AI can definitely fill gaps in loneliness or fill gaps in just, needing to have a conversation, maybe at 2 a.m. when you don't want to, wake your friends or family or whatever. But anyway, this was I thought a really touching film, and it felt like kind of heartbreaking to be honest. But it definitely felt like more of a drama than a comedy. Ex Machina. I think I'm saying that right. Programmer is invited by his CEO to administer the Turing test to Ava. Now, I remember watching this and just finding it to be, just an exciting film, beautifully done. I love the concept, and the actors in it like were fantastic. And what do we do when these AIs can actually pass these tests and become indistinguishable from human beings? What is that line? I don't think we've really defined that. But this film I thought was really beautifully done and exciting. The Matrix. Oh my gosh, that's like a classic film. I feel like, Star Trek is huge. Star Wars is huge, but The Matrix is sort of like that other trilogy, in science fiction that just blew my mind. The whole simulacra, what is real, it's just still to this day blows my mind. The concepts of The Matrix. I remember when I put on my first virtual reality headset, I felt like Neo. It was cabled into a PC, and it felt very like connected into the Matrix. But just so many concepts of the Matrix, and AIs, and battling them in the real world and the digital world. It feels like we're definitely entering that a little bit more through VR and now with AI. It'll be interesting to see if the Matrix become more of a real thing. I would be very interested in seeing like a Matrix VR experience. I think that would be fun. But anyway, yeah, Matrix is like a great story about artificial intelligence. Wally. Now, Wally is so wonderful. Like, it's, I love this. In a future where humans have abandoned Earth due to pollution, Wally, a lonely waste collecting robot, finds a new purpose when he encounters Eve, a probe sent from Earth. So, artificial intelligences, encountering artificial intelligences and inspiring different behavior, that emergent behavior, but this movie was so beautiful, and it was so, it's sad from the standpoint of humans, becoming, these, creatures living in these floating, mobile chairs that, they look at screens all the time and they're not interacting with each other. I mean, it's definitely a commentary on humanity today and how we all walk around looking at our smartphones and stuff like that and pass by each other. I remember I was watching a guy walk his dog, and I see this often. People walk their dog and all they're doing is looking at their screen. They're not paying attention to their dog whatsoever. So it's not even an experience that they're enjoying. I mean, there's so much of that. Even people walking outside with their smartphone. But the Wally movie was so beautiful, and it's so funny how you feel for these characters, these AI robots. I mean, Pixar and Disney does such an amazing job with, creating these characters that you really, feel great about. But this was a beautiful story, with some background of some issues that we're dealing with pollution and climate change and, AI and stuff like that. So this would probably be another good one for me to watch again. Let's see here. The movie AI, Artificial Intelligence. David, a robot boy who is created to be a companion for a dying child, is rejected by the child's parents and embarks on a journey to find his place in the world. Yes, I remember this movie came out, and I remember seeing it being like, wow, this is amazing. It's so dark. It's definitely from the perspective of this robot boy, and it's really heartbreaking to be built for a purpose, to be rejected by, for that purpose, then have to find your own path, and to feel, so programmed in a way that you have to go beyond that. I mean, it definitely ties into humanity, feeling, like programmed to do certain things and then breaking out of those constraints and, dealing with rejection and family and all that. So definitely things I completely, grasp. And you feel the emotion from this story. I think this was a Spielberg film, and I remember it being really well done, but feeling really dystopian and kind of sad. And probably another one I should watch again. I honestly can't recall how it ends. The Mitchells versus the Machine. So the Mitchell family who must band together to save the world from a robot uprising. Yeah, I remember seeing this film on Netflix, and it was just so much fun. And the animation was amazing. I mean, the story of a robot uprising is, that's not cool. But this family, kind of the kind of family dynamics changing and bonding them in ways that they, hadn't before. And I remember it being very comedic and funny and silly. The artistry of the animation being really amazing as well. But yeah, I remember seeing this on Netflix, and I think it kind of moved even beyond Netflix. It was so popular. But yeah, no, that's a dystopian. It feels like movies about artificial intelligence lean towards this world of robot and AI uprisings. All these kind of like tend to be these more negative slanted kind of experiences. You got the uprising in the Mitchells. You got the AI rejected by humans and AI. You've got Wally, where this is probably the one outlier in here, the more positive one about artificial intelligence is emerging and developing more connection and stuff like that, and wanting to do good for humanity. They, remember in the end, the AIs were kind of battling each other on their purpose to, to actually, show that, hey, Earth can be inhabited again. But it was very interesting. But how, here the AIs and the robots, help humanity to achieve its goals. The Matrix, a battle between humans and AI, Ex Machina is sort of. It was a strange one, but it definitely is the whole, what is human, what is not, what is intelligence. So more of a just kind of a question of which is which. And when the AIs can, fight for themselves, it's very interesting, to think about, going into the future. And I remember I, Robot was also another movie with Will Smith that I really like that concept too, the Isaac Asimov book. There's so many amazing movies about artificial intelligence out there, and I'm sure with this whole new era of artificial intelligence that we're in today, we're going to see a whole lot more. And it'll be interesting to see what people will think of from an AI perspective and how that will manifest in Hollywood movies and TV shows moving forward. But anyway, thank you all. Have a great day and watch a great AI movie. Maybe check out Wally. It's a little bit more fun and inspiring. Have a great day.